Hello everyone, this is Glenda Winkleman and welcome back to Creative Grandma. Today's project is the project I was talking about on a previous video when I showed the Lion Brand Mandala yarn. This is the project I came up with. This is called the Rainbow Lace Xfinity Scarf. It's made with a single crochet and a double crochet crossed stitch. So I'm going to zoom up. I'm sorry about the picture. I'm not real good at photography. I have this half a head mannequin and I put the scarf around it. I also was trying to show it over the head as well, but the pictures just weren't coming out right. I'm going to zoom in a little bit and you can see the stitches a little bit nicer. Now I did this with a narrow width, and it turned out to be like a color blocking type scarf. You can see the color blocking going through it. Now this scarf will also look nice if you decide to make the chain and do it lengthwise so the colors are right on top of each other. And you can do that. This pattern's a multiple of 3, so you can do it either way. Now the pattern for this particular scarf is done using the narrow width and making it to length. So I'll be right back and I'll tell you what you need for this project and we'll get started. For this project, you're going to need just one ball of the Mandala by Lion Brand in whatever color you choose. Now I'm choosing Gnome. This is number 209 Gnome. And it only takes one ball for the rainbow lace scarf. You're also going to need a size I9 crochet hook or 5.5 millimeter. So what I'm going to do is I'm going to go ahead and start my chain. So we're going to need a chain of 27. So go ahead and get your chain 27 ready. And I'll be right back to start the scarf. Our first row, row 1. Row 1 is just one row of single crochet. So we're going to take our hook, we're going to skip this first chain, we're going to insert our hook into the next chain, yarn over the hook, pull it through that chain, yarn over the hook, and pull it through 2 loops. That is a single crochet. So your first stitch is a single crochet worked in the second chain from hook. So now you're going to continue working single crochet in each chain across. So each one of these circle loops are your chains. So insert your hook into the next chain, yarn over the hook, pull it through the chain, yarn over the hook, and pull it through 2 loops. Very basic, very simple single crochet. So just work a single crochet in each chain across, and I will meet you at the end of row 1. I'm at the end of row 1 and I left 1 chain remaining to show you where you go into the last chain. So you're going to work a single crochet into that last chain, yarn over the hook, pull it through the chain, yarn over the hook, pull it through 2 loops. So this is your base row, row 1. So now rows 2 and 3 will be your repeat rows. So after row 3, you'll just repeat rows 2 and 3 over and over until we get to where we need to be. Okay, so to start row 2, we're going to chain 3. That is our first double crochet. So this chain 3 space is actually this stitch here. So if you line that up, you can see that this classifies as your first stitch here. So the instructions say chain 3 for the first double crochet and skip next 2 single crochet. So the next 2 single crochet would be this one and this one. So now we're going to work a double crochet in this next single crochet, which would be the 3rd single crochet. So for this pattern across, it's going to be worked in 3s, every 3 stitches. So yarn over the hook, You're going to skip these 2 single crochet and go into the third. Insert your hook in that single crochet, yarn over the hook, pull it through the stitch, yarn over the hook, pull it through 2 loops on the hook only, yarn over the hook and pull it through 2 loops. That's your first double crochet. Now you're going to chain 1. Now you're going to come back and you're going to work a double crochet into the first single crochet of the skip 2. So you're going to wrap the yarn over the hook, you're going to skip the single crochet right beside the one you just worked, and you're going to come over to the first single crochet of the 3. Insert your hook in that stitch, yarn over the hook, bring it through the stitch, yarn over the hook, bring it through 2 loops on hook, yarn over the hook and bring it through 2 loops. So what you just did was you just created a crossed double crochet. So you can see that you have a double crochet under, you chained 1, and then you worked a double crochet over. And this creates a really pretty lacy cross stitch. So now what we're going to do is we're going to repeat this across to within the last single crochet. So like I said, we're going to work in 3s, 1, 2, 3. You're going to skip these first 2 single crochet and you're going to work a double crochet into that 3rd single crochet. Yarn over the hook, skip 1, 2, insert your hook into that 3rd single crochet, yarn over the hook, bring it through that stitch. Yarn over the hook, pull it through 2 loops only. Yarn over the hook and pull it through 2 loops. This is the first double crochet of your cross double crochet. It's the one underneath. So now we're going to chain 1, and now we're going to work the double crochet that goes across the top. So yarn over the hook, you're going to work back to the first single crochet of the skip 2. So you skip 1 and you come into the 2nd. Insert your hook, yarn over the hook, pull it through that stitch, yarn over the hook, pull it through 2 loops, yarn over the hook and pull it through 2 loops. Now you made your 2nd double crochet cross stitch. And what happens is when you do row 3, you're going to be working a stitch in this chain 1 space, and then that opens that up a little bit and you can see it better. I'll show you one more time. You're going to yarn over the hook, you're going to skip the next 1st and 2nd stitch, you're going to work a double crochet into the next, which would be the 3rd. Insert your hook in that stitch, yarn over the hook, pull it through the stitch, yarn over the hook, pull it through 2 loops only, yarn over the hook and pull it through 2 loops. That's the first double crochet, which is underneath on the cross double crochet. You're going to chain 1, and now we're going to work the double crochet that comes back across. So yarn over the hook, you're going to come back 1, 2 to that first stitch of the skip 2, insert your hook in that stitch, yarn over the hook, pull it through the stitch, yarn over the hook, pull it through 2 loops only, yarn over the hook and pull it through 2 loops. And that is how you make your cross double crochet. So go ahead and work that across until you get to the last single crochet, and we'll meet up at the last single crochet. I'm over to the end of row 2 and I'm getting ready to work my last stitch, but this is what it should look like so far. You have your beginning chain 3 and you should have 2, 4, 6, 8 crossed double crochet across. Now we're going to finish off the row. Now when you're working this cross double crochet, the one thing I did forget, I'm going to rip this out. When you're working that stitch, make sure when you're counting your stitches you don't go into the stitch that this one was worked into. Always make sure you're into that next stitch. So you can see how this one ended here, this one starts here, because sometimes you really have to like pull that and see where that stitch is. So always make sure you go count, see where your stitch is, and then count 1, 2, 3 and work that cross double crochet. And then when you come back across, make sure you go 1, 2. Make sure you're not going in that stitch. You want to go in this one. Because if you mess that up, then you could ruin your count for the single crochet, and you won't realize your mistake until you get to the next row when you're doing your cross double crochet again. So if you ever have a problem, that's probably what you did. You probably went in the same stitch, and that will throw your count off. So if you don't have a total of 8 cross double crochet, then you messed up, and just rip out a row or two until you figure out where you made your mistake. So go ahead and make a double crochet. Make sure you skip this one, and you're going to go in that last single crochet here. So just go under those 2 strands of yarn, work your double crochet into that last single crochet, and there you have row 2 finished. And like I said, row 2 is the start of our repeat. Rows 2 and 3 are your repeat rows. Now for row 3, very simple row. To start row 3 is just a row of single crochet, and we're going to crochet into the top of each double crochet in each chain 1 space, each double crochet, each chain 1 space across. So chain 1, turn your work. You're going to skip this chain 1 space here, and you're going to work a single crochet into the top of that very first double crochet. So insert your hook, yarn over the hook, pull it through the stitch, yarn over the hook, and pull it through 2 loops. So you worked your first single crochet in that first double crochet. So now we're going to work a single crochet into the next double crochet, insert your hook, yarn over, pull it through the stitch, yarn over, pull it through 2 loops. You're going to work a single crochet in this chain 1 space right in the middle. So work your single crochet. You're going to work a single crochet in this next double crochet, and you're going to repeat that across. So work a single crochet in each double crochet in the chain 1 space, and the double crochet of each cross double crochet across. And I want you to stop when you get to the last double crochet of the last cross stitch. Leave this chain 3 space unworked, and I will meet you there to show you how I end the row. I am over to the ending chain 3, and this is what your work should look like. So now I'm going to show you how I finish off the row. I'm over to the end, and you have a chain 3 space. What I do is I skip the top chain 3, and I work my single crochet right in that center chain. So 1, 2. So right in the middle. Insert your hook in that chain 2 space, yarn over the hook, pull it through that second chain, yarn over the hook, and pull it through 2 loops. And I like doing that because it kind of adds a little bit of fill here, and it keeps your work even. You don't have that gaping chain 3 space. So that's how I finish off that row. And if you do that, you'll notice your work has a really nice even edge. So rows 2 and 3 are the repeat rows. So now you're going to work ahead, and you're going to work rows 4 through 173, which is rows 2 and 3 85 times more. So just repeat rows 2 and 3 85 more times until you get to the end of row 173. Now I did use a different ball, and I started with the red. That ball started with the red. So let me zoom out just a little to Okay, so here is my rainbow scarf. It starts with the red, it goes to orange, and then the light orange, yellow, green, blue, purple, and then it goes back just a little bit of the light purple. Now I did manipulate the skein, the ball of yarn, because when I sew this together, I wanted the colors to match, so it, you know, I didn't want the green on that little bit of purple, so I did cut the yarn and I jumped ahead. And you can do that or you don't have to. That was just my preference of when I sew it together. So this is the scarf. Let me see if I can find which color shows up best. Let's see if the orange. You can see the lacy pattern. Now, this yarn did recommend a size I hook. I'm not sure if that's showing up. It's hard to tell when you're looking through the lens. It's a very lacy look. I'm not happy with that either. Let me see if, I think the blue shows up the best. Let me show that. I like the laciness of it. So what I done, there's a really nicer look. I bumped my hook size up to an I9, but the recommended hook size is H. So if you didn't like how lacy this is and you wanted yours like maybe a little bit tighter, this stitch pattern has a multiple of 3. So if you want your scarf wider, then you just add 3 more chain, 6 more chain, 9 more chain, 12 more chain, just in a multiple of 3 for whatever width you want if you're going to drop your hook size, or if you use this hook size and you just want to make it wider. I was trying to make the scarf using just one ball of yarn to make it easier, you know, more affordable. So this is the pattern. I think it's a very pretty lacy pattern. I'm going to go ahead and grab my yarn needle and I'm going to show you how I simply just sew this together to make the infinity scarf. So go ahead and work ahead and I'll meet you back with my yarn needle. Okay, I jumped ahead a little bit. On this pattern you need to do one more row. You're ending, since you started with a single crochet row, you're going to want to end with a crossed double crochet row. So you need to work row 174 and you need to repeat row 2 of the double crochet cross stitches across. So once you get that done, I'll show you how to sew your scarf together. So go ahead and do that. Pause the video until you work that last row. So when you get that last row worked, to sew your scarf together, you're going to lay your scarf, and if you done your chain, this would have been on the left hand side or right hand side if you're left-handed. So you're going to want this on the right hand side. You're going to take the row you just finished and that will be on the left hand side. So make sure that when you end that row 174 off, you leave a pretty long length to sew your scarf together. Now if you don't want an infinity scarf, you can always just fasten off and put fringe on this, and that would be really pretty too if you just want a one-piece long scarf which is open on both ends. But if you want to sew it together, your first row, your end should be on the right, and when you finish row 174, leave your length and that should be on the left. So all you're going to do is you're going to match them up, and then I'm going to have to turn this because that's how I'm going to sew. Just bring it over. I don't know if you can see this color. Let me see if I can. You're just going to match the stitches up. You're just going to insert your hook and you're just going to sew those stitches together right through the top. And what you're doing is you're sewing on the wrong side, and when you get this sewed together and you flip it over, you won't see this seam. So just go ahead and match your stitches across. I'm just going right through this stitch under the 2 loops Move that thread, and then I'm going under, it's hard to see this, I'm going under this stitch here. I'm just matching them up across. I mean, if you miss one stitch, it won't really matter. If you really get off, it will, but try to make sure they're matched right up so it looks uniform. And just go ahead and sew that across. And then I will meet you at the end. I'm going to knot it, and then I'm going to just weave my ends in. So I'll meet you when I'm done sewing that across. I just finished sewing my stitches across, but before you knot this or before you tie it off and weave it in, always open up your work and check it. See if it looks okay. That looks pretty good. The stitches are aligned. Now, if the stitches are like out of line and they're really crooked, then you can just pull on your thread, rip that out, and then realign your stitches so it ends. You can't even see the seam there. It just really blends together. This is an excellent yarn. It's very easy to work with. It's really nice. So, okay, let me flip this back over. Now, I just tied myself in a knot. Everybody has their own way of joining. You don't have to do it my way. If you have a preferred method, do it your way. Whatever's easier for you. Because the more you crochet, the more you have your own way of doing things, as I do. And you just learn what's comfortable and what you like. So what I do is I just put that through the stitches. And then I put my needle right through that loop, and that kind of like creates a knot. And then I just come down to the next stitch and I do the same thing. I just put that hook right through that loop and I kind of tie a knot. And then I go ahead and weave it in. But I try to secure it the best I can. I do not want my work to come unworked, and I just put it through some stitches across, and then I just cut that. And then what I would do is I would go back with my yarn needle with all these little ends here, and I'm not sure where the other one went, and then that is our infinity scarf. I love rainbows. I love the bright colors. I'll go ahead and show this again on my form so you have a better view of it. I hope you enjoyed this project. I did not put a border on this. I thought the edging was just nice enough. I mean, that's your choice if you want to put a single crochet border around it or a shell stitch or anything, but I wanted it to be quick and easy. I wanted it to be a fast project for you. Like I said, I thought it was really pretty, just a light lacy scarf. And here is the scarf on my mannequin head. It doesn't do it justice, but it gives you an idea of what it looks like. Again, thank you for stopping by my channel. Thank you.